We will now call the Beaufort County Board of Education Agenda Setting Meeting of December 2, 2019 to order. The members present are Mr. William Smith, Kathy Robine, myself, Christina Watt. We also have Mel Campbell, Superintendent Dr. Rodriguez, and Robin Cushing, the Executive Assistant to the Board. Do we have a motion to approve the agenda?
I move.
I'll second.
All right. All those in favor? I
Aye.
should say, any discussion? On all those in favor? All right. We'll now stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, the meeting has been properly notified. We have the draft minutes of November 11 here in our folders. We have a motion to approve. I see a correction that's needed, but it's going to motion to approve.
Oh, I move we approve.
I'll second.
Okay, so this last thing, next meeting date, though, December, it should be 2, not 12,
December 2.
right?
Yes.
Because next.
Yes,
yeah,
it's
December
today.
2, today.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. That was the other thing I
Yeah.
noticed. Any other comments or corrections?
Okay, let's see.
That's great. All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
All right.
Who made the motion?
I did.
Kathy.
And we'll second it.
All right.
Now we can go to setting the agenda for December 10th, and we have the draft in front of us. So, I see we have an hour scheduled for executive session, and there are a lot of topics here. So is that,
It's 5 o'clock.
yeah, is that realistic? I mean, basically everything would get at best about 10 minutes. Well, less than 10 minutes, because we've got to be out of there at 5:06.
Is it says placeholder for Riverview Charter School contract?
Wendy has that, but I didn't have the exact wording, but she is one you.
It's a placeholder right now, because I think there's something else that we're reviewing on it first, and so it's a possibility,
She
we
thinks it'll
just
be ready.
didn't want it.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, wanna miss it, that's
All
all.
right. Is there anything there that could,
Go into a long
yeah,
discussion.
or exactly, go into a long discussion, or be, is there anything that's not urgent?
On the executive session?
Yeah.
If Robert had his way, he was trying to get the last 2 on for tomorrow, but I told him it was too
No,
late.
Yeah.
I talked to Robert and this morning, and I told
Okay.
him, no, we'll bring it.
Yeah,
December
yeah, this is really a business meeting,
Yeah.
the other thing is a special meeting.
So what's the GMP stand for?
That is a guaranteed maximum price.
Okay.
So.
And that's to build out the 2 additions.
That's right,
Okay.
yeah, that worked for River Ridge and River
Okay.
Ridge. So it could, they could come under, right?
Right.
But this is a guaranteed maximum.
Yeah. I don't know, it seems to me like maybe we're gonna need even longer than,
So we're moving.
well, I don't think we can accomplish all this in 55 minutes. It just looks like it's too.
Yeah, particularly if
Want to go to 4:30?
4:30.
Yeah. That's so long though, but, what about the approval for the architects? For the 8% now and referendum summer works?
Yep,
So,
so,
We can put that off to
yeah.
not really, because we want to hit this work in the summer. So the architects,
Gotta go to work.
they need to get going.
Yeah.
Because they're gonna work for a while before, we get, settle on the contractor or whatever else for that, right? They gotta get going on their work, I guess, is really the deal.
So how do we, So is this an RFP or RFQ? Yeah, and has it already gone out and come back?
Yeah, it's come back, it's
Yeah,
ready to go.
so it could be something quick or something long.
Could be, depends on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The questions,
Questions.
discussion,
Yeah.
yeah. I don't know, I personally think we
I'd
need to
move
go
it to
earlier.
4:30.
Yeah, what do you think, Will?
That's fine, we can move
Yeah.
it.
I just don't think we can do all that.
It's better to hedge that way.
Mm-hmm. And have a few minutes, more minutes in between the two. Okay. So, anything else that we can think of in executive session? I have a question. Can you, for not probably the next business meeting in January, are we gonna get an update from Mr. Vox?
We can get that,
Yeah.
yeah.
When he's ready, I mean.
Yeah.
That's not,
Yeah.
this is too soon.
Yeah.
Those.
Yeah, we can get that.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
that's something that's gonna be an executive session. Yeah. Okay.
And, you know, David Strubinger had brought up the assessment of the Bridge Street property, that we had put it off before
Yeah,
because
into
of
the
the referendum. So he said, you know, he's asked that that be brought back up, but I don't know.
So, I don't know, my thinking would be, that's not a critical, urgent matter, that we could do it
In
at the
January?
next meeting in
Okay.
January.
Yeah.
But I'm glad you remembered that. I mean, it's just, sell property that's already leased.
Right.
Okay. Alright. So, we can skip down to,
Is there, also the, I'll leave that on my this one.
so we're gonna have the May River High School Chorus, the name of what they're singing?
They haven't gotten back to me, but
Okay.
it'll be
It
on
should
there.
be, yeah.
And the director.
It will
Yeah,
be on
so
there when,
yeah, I think that's nice.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And the same thing with the October student of the month.
She's waiting to hear, so we're not sure yet, but I just
Okay.
put them on
And
there
what
as a
kind-
placeholders
Yeah.
until we
Yeah,
get.
and it will tell us, like, whether it was for honesty or
Yes.
industriousness.
Well, I usually don't put that part on
Okay.
there. I just put the month, the student of the month, their grade and their school year
Okay.
on the agenda. You get that in your introduction.
Okay,
Or,
Yeah,
Yeah,
everybody
everybody
usually does that.
alright, any,
Question, any PEs, does that come in superintendent's report, or does that come somewhere else on the agenda?
well, we gotta vote on them, and it seems like they could be under,
Board action?
yes, but except for,
if they come,
go ahead.
if they come through committee, normally they come through committee first, and then they come to the full board.
So-
But with Tanya's,
So in this case, well, I've got a couple here, but one is PE 1.9 guidance that went through the academic
Academics.
committee,
Right.
right? So,
it's supposed to go back to the academic,
it is?
because you all had
They
some,
had some
The
questions.
guidance
Yeah.
one that has the question?
well, they had two, both
let's
of them that came through academics, they had questions, and they were going back for changes. It was the guidance, and,
They're not ready for that.
right.
When is the academic committee?
On Monday
Next
the
week.
9th, the 9th. Are we in a time thing? Oh,
I mean,
We're always in the time.
you know, we could, you know, I hate to put it on there, and then if it comes back to you on Monday, and you still have some questions,
I think,
leave it off till January?
no, Kathy, what did we agree on that?
well,
That discussion came up, whether it should be on the
1, 2, is
I
that
think
what
we
you're talking
agreed
about?
on.
No,
Oh, 1.9.
1.9, I think Mary,
December 10th, we,
Are bringing it, they were bringing it back to you for, with the suggested change, things that you all wanted to see. It was the academic, as
Yeah,
well
I
as the,
think-
the professional development, as well as the guidance. So, they were coming back to the academic committee on their agenda for next week, which.
so maybe better for January then,
Yeah.
because if you still have questions, you know,
check
Yeah.
with
maybe we
Mary,
need to work.
make sure
Well,
that,
she's the one who told me this, but that's why I checked with her this morning, she gave me that, But listening to what you're saying,
Yeah.
we may be better for
And I think we
January.
said we were,
Yeah.
I definitely remember, having attended
Table.
that, was
Yes.
definitely 1.2 and had questions. I also
Right.
thought you
It
did
was
Yeah.
the
1.9.
professional
Yeah.
development and the guidance.
Yeah.
the guidance.
Yes.
It goes to brainstorm.
The other PE that's not going, because normally PEs go through committee first, but the audit one is on this agenda for Tanya because finance meets after this meeting and the audit PE meeting, they come in December. So we went ahead and put it under board business
Okay,
instead of it going to the finance committee because the committee meets after this meeting.
okay.
So
And the
this
board has to approve it.
and the board has to approve it, so it becomes a time-sensitive item.
Okay,
So that's why that's
Yep.
on board business.
yep,
But a lot of times, going back to your question, Dr. Rodriguez, it seems like the PEs are under the committee reports
Mhm.
generally because each committee has taken a look at them. But that doesn't, at the same time too, just if they're under the committee
absolutely.
reports and we're gonna vote on them, I certainly, if Wendy has, wants to give a 2-minute summary on the changes or whatever, that would be appreciated,
Okay.
or something like that.
On the ARs or on the PEs?
Uh,
The ARs are different than the PEs.
Yeah, I guess I was thinking more of the ARs.
The ARs are the changes that Wendy
Yeah.
would make,
Yeah,
and the board doesn't vote on that.
no,
Right.
they just are showing
Right.
to us.
So the email that we got from Mary this morning says, I want to confirm that Ms. Henderson is presenting to the board on December 10th, PE 19.
Yeah, but if you all don't feel that we're ready for that, then I'd rather do it in January and have them hit a home run in January, you know?
Yeah.
So,
Your last meeting, you all were having them come back to
I'll
the
be touch her
academic.
and see.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, that's what I thought,
Is that what you thought too? Yeah,
mhm.
they're coming back.
I thought she's coming back to us and get some
On the
Some
9th.
suggested
suggestions.
changes.
Because it was, we had questions about the additional, about
The
the
numbers.
counselors, the
yeah,
numbers, and that,
ratio,
like the
all that stuff.
ratios, yeah. So Trish didn't answer that back, so that was the latest on that
All
email.
right, so why don't we for right
Okay.
now,
Take-
move 1.2 and 1.9 to January. All right, and then, so the only,
So I only put one committee on there because everyone else is meeting after this, except for the results. And since I sent out the evaluation, that's the only committee I put on here, if that's okay.
yeah, because academics, if it's the night before, we're not gonna have the information
Right.
we need.
Right. And David did want to get the results on the agenda.
Okay. So that looks good.
Results for what was that now?
So this is the,
The ad hoc results,
Yeah,
the
How
document,
we're gonna-
how we're gonna evaluate Dr.
Evaluation.
Rodriguez.
And I sent that out to
Yeah,
board
everybody
members
has
last week, yeah.
all right, and then the superintendent's report.
So ARs, would come here? Or, all right.
Because we're not voting on them, yeah.
Okay, so they talked about medical homebound AR, graduation requirement AR, virtual learning AR, and chaperones, the AR around chaperones.
Can you say them
So
again,
those
sorry?
all came through.
They all came through academics.
So are you gonna report out on them in academics, or wait till January?
Because those all came through the committee.
Yeah.
What, the committee couldn't bring that up?
Graduation, we went through, that one should be ready
That's ready.
to go.
Okay.
Yeah,
Mhm.
the AR,
So would that come through Trish's report?
It could.
Yeah.
it could.
And then
So-
if Wendy needed to add
Yeah.
anything, yeah.
Okay, so
put
we'll add academics,
and then put the ARs up underneath.
and I know that it was
The virtual learning.
graduation,
Children, but,
Is
yeah.
that virtual learning ready?
yes, I think so,
Mhm.
yeah.
Because you were just doing, she had brought the revisions,
But
and you
it-
all were fine
So you
with that.
said virtual, what else did you have on that, Doc? What
You
else?
said 2 others. Medical
Yeah, I
homebound.
said medical homebound and then chaperones.
Okay.
Did the chaperones come through that? No.
They've not,
No, so
That
we'll
one's not
leave
done.
that one.
Yeah.
And what about medical homebound?
That one came through.
best side.
That one came through the academics.
Wasn't on our,
I don't think I was there for that part.
It was one of the last.
Things you discussed, yeah.
Uh-huh.
last time?
On November, no. I don't know what day it was. November 20th?
I remember talking about it, but I don't remember seeing, oh, here it is, yeah, here it is, yeah. Yeah,
Okay, so then there'd be 3. Graduation, virtual learning, and medical.
medical.
Yeah, okay. And then where would the other one?
Chaperone one,
Where
we'll
would
have
that
to
go?
wait, if they haven't seen it yet,
Yeah,
then it should wait till
Okay,
January.
okay.
And is that, the chaperone, was that one come to us, it's not a personnel thing?
What's an AR?
I-
You knew what it
what-
goes as
what
an
committee?
operations committee? Could be,
I don't
I have
know.
to, I have to see what is the number, what's the number, is it an OS or is it an IS? I have to look it
I
up.
don't have it.
That sounds like it comes to
Yeah,
operation.
it sounds good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So I guess, Dr. Rodriguez, if Wendy could be
Yep.
prepared to give brief summaries if necessary
Yep.
on those, right?
yeah,
Yep,
Okay. On what the changes are.
sure.
yeah.
So I got 2 committees.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, I just to go under goal 1.
Now, would that be Tricia on her committee report?
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
Yeah, that
the
would-
ARs and
Yeah, the AR.
academics.
Tricia.
Okay.
All right.
Let's see.
We're on to the school updates.
Now, on the priority schools update, and when I was talking with Mary about it, she said they're under the impression it was January.
No, not from the, no,
The last meeting was December.
because it has to be quarterly.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what, for the, Freddie and Pat were presenting, but Mary was gonna do the TSIs instead of having
Oliver.
all of the other ones.
She could do some.
She was supposed to do a summary.
Okay.
Mhm.
That's what they're required by that MOU,
Okay.
MOA, or whatever it is.
Yep.
To do it quarterly. Alright. So, nothing under the other goals
Yeah.
there. Okay.
Other matters,
Because that
referendum.
finance P 3.6 is,
Board business.
under board business,
Yeah.
yeah, so, okay. And then, under other matters, I'll leave that update there.
Okay.
Okay.
You said under, what's that now? Under
On the
other?
last
This
of
is
the
the
page.
last thing on the other side.
It says
Oh,
referendum update.
Yeah.
And you said other matters?
It's on the bottom
On
of
the
the first
bottom,
page,
other
on the
page, other
front.
side.
Turn it.
Right.
Right, okay, yeah.
That you should have that as a placeholder every.
Yeah, for now,
Yeah.
for a while, we're
Yeah,
gonna,
or at least
we're gonna need
monthly.
that for a while,
Yeah.
so.
Yeah.
Alright. So we're gonna flip it over. Under board business action, so the approval of the 2020 board meeting calendar, as part of that, we have to have the approval of the
The
contract with the county channel.
So
Will that be,
the memorandum,
Yeah.
that is going to be, Scott said he'll get that back to us tomorrow.
okay,
But having the understanding that the memorandum is not about the locations. The locations is, he lists 4 places where they can broadcast live. So in the memorandum, all he's doing is updating and taking off Bluffton Library, putting on Hilton Head Library, and Buckwalter Center, and moving the district office to the front page as opposed to in
Instead of
section
in the,
5.
yeah.
Instead of on section 5.
Yeah.
So that is all that's being changed to the memorandum. As far as locations for the board to for us to hold our meetings, county can only broadcast from those 4 places. The county council is no longer going to be using the Hilton Head Library. They're going, when they do their South of the Broad, they're gonna stay at Buckwalter Center.
Scott said that he suggested that we could look at the town of Hilton Head. They did not call me back. I didn't reach the secretary to get me the count of the days. If we use the town of Hilton Head, they're set up like county council. It's a permanent fixture, a permanent stand. Except for their meetings are on the same day our meetings are. So if we are considering, and if they can adjust to if we can adjust to their schedule, we would have to move our meetings from the third Tuesday to the fourth Tuesday, if we want to consider using the town of Hilton Head. Using the town of Bluffton, we would have to, first of all, they don't have 11, we would have to create space on theirs, because they only have seating for 8 for their town, it's not 11. If we do Facebook Live, Scott said he would have to look into the FCC license, because he has a license of what can be broadcast on there. And they can't control Facebook Live. We also can't control, we have our IT people talking with their IT people. If they don't allow us to have access to their network, like when we have people come in, we put them on our guest server. Most likely if we go over there, they'll put us on their guest server, which means we can't control, it might be on, it might not be on. You know, we can't control their internet. So, as Scott says, those are variables that is not in our control as far as broadcasting and
But those are things that we would need to discuss as far as the full board, not.
Right. I'm just giving the what I found out, the phone calls that I've made to find out. So I'm not saying yes or no, I'm just saying these are the variables that you have when discussing these options. Like going to the town of Hilton Head, that's an option. Going to the town of Bluffton, this is an option.
You know
But
what?
the only 4 places that
Do
can
live.
do live
Correct.
are gonna be in that contract. That's probably the most important
Yes,
thing.
that's the only thing that's in that contract.
Okay.
And then maybe if down the road, if we wanted to make some type of chart, if we wanted to continue this discussion, the other places and what the possibilities were, but right now, so, the
So I think we
council's
need
gonna
that
be,
here.
yeah, the council's gonna be doing,
Or is a document here?
So what do you mean,
Well,
the
the
memorandum?
approval of the 2020 board meeting calendar. I
That's
think-
what, we go back to that.
No, but
No,
don't we
but-
also need the document of the.
The memorandum?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, put that back in.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll put
because
that back
that's
in.
what people were concerned about that.
So, but do I leave the calendar like that? Because right now, do we go back to approving what was originally
Yeah,
submitted?
Yes,
that's my
I think
understanding.
Yeah, so that's what I'm asking for that.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's the first thing. Any other comments on that?
No.
Okay. Alright, then we just, Dr. Rodriguez explained the presentation and approval of PE 3.6, the annual financial audit.
And Tanya said that, she didn't have the name, but someone from Elliott and Davis are going to come and will be there to do the presentation.
Okay,
And she'll give me the name of whoever is going to.
okay. And as I recall, this is the last year we're using them, and then it has to go out for bid. I'm pretty sure we made a motion.
We
to that
did,
effect.
yeah.
Okay. Alright. Then the next thing is the resolution declaring the intent to reimburse not to exceed 8 million of the 2019 referendum expenditures and tax exempt bonds. This is the wording that Franny
Yeah.
Heiser suggested that we, tweak it. Okay. And so her email or whatever.
Tanya said she was,
Yeah,
she was
here's
on
the
board that
resolution. She has
it's a
it.
resolution Tanya
Yeah.
was giving me.
Okay. Discussion and direction for the bond council. So, where do we stand with that?
Yeah, I mean, there was, that was on the agenda last time.
Right.
And the conversation went like this
Mhm.
towards, towards the item above it, right?
Right.
The use of the
Yeah.
8 million to 10
Yeah.
million, right? So what I'm looking for is, essentially, is the board been on bond council a while ago.
Mhm.
Okay, so what I'm looking for is discussion and direction to stay where we are, or go out and get somebody new.
Okay.
That's basically what I'm looking for,
Okay.
you know? Or, I mean, so the board could say, stay where we are for an initial round of bonds,
Mhm.
and then go find somebody else. The board could say, go find somebody else. The board could say, just stay where we are.
So let's be looking for a motion.
Yeah, I'm looking for,
Yeah.
I'm
Motion to-
looking for
Action
some
is what it's
direction
looking for.
from,
Well, you kind of already gave us the backdrop for that.
yeah, the
Last
last
meeting,
one.
yeah.
Right, but you never really had the discussion.
Right.
You rightfully focused in on trying to secure some dollars to get the projects moving,
Go.
Yeah.
right? But ultimately,
Yeah.
Okay, so
Decide
now we
who's
need,
gonna direct the dollar, yeah.
yeah,
yeah,
so now we, the impact fees, as you
impact fees.
mentioned before, they were gonna be on this in January, but now they're back on this?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, and so where would that go?
the impact fees, that's gonna be something Tanya will present.
Oh,
And
so
no,
Tanya
that,
told me, as I was walking out the door, that she
Yeah.
had reached you, so she told me to wait till January.
What?
So call her, as I was
No,
leaving.
I'm sorry, because
call
I
her-
said in the car, I had a conversation,
Okay.
and basically, right before walking in here,
Okay, so you talked to her since I talked to her as I was leaving.
yeah, so
Okay.
I just verified.
Yeah.
New technology.
Yes. Yes.
but I think that would come under maybe goal 3.
She
Because,
said it was a
Fiscal
long
responsibility.
conversation, so that's why she
Oh.
was saying it was gonna be a long conversation.
but I think
I-
we're sort of.
I think it's packed right now.
Oh, it's really bad.
Yeah, in fact, my question was gonna be, what on this agenda, wait until next year, because this agenda is very packed. Yeah, it is, I mean, I almost feel like we need an additional meeting on,
On the impact fees.
or what can we get in tomorrow night?
We're asking
Right,
how
she could be in again
Well,
tomorrow.
we can't because
Right, yeah.
it's already been posted,
Okay.
or it's
Okay.
about to be.
All right, thank you. Got it.
So,
Okay, perfect.
Where?
All right, thank you. Right, bye.
alright,
Okay.
So where?
So, yeah.
it'll be on here.
We did say a while back though, that it was gonna be on the December meeting.
Yeah, we did.
We did.
We moved it
So,
from November to
You know
December.
what, this is what I would recommend,
Mhm.
if we can have something to read ahead of time.
Yep.
That tells us, bullet points about if she can prepare something like that, so we have a chance to look at that and we'll know.
Cut down some of the discussion.
So, yeah, so will the company, Tischler or
I think we
whoever
can
they are-
get you something to look at.
Yeah, I think we,
Yeah,
And,
and it doesn't have to be,
These are the impact fees for what?
for the,
properties, as they come up,
So
they
this is going to
can't
fiscal
get charged impact fees.
yeah,
for
Uh,
school
For
construction.
school construction. So, as an example, right? New developments in Bluffton
Right,
that are going up,
right.
once this discussion on impact fees happens or pass or whatever, right? They could be paying an impact fee when they sell that property, or either the developer pays it or it gets built into the cost of the home, right? And they could be some substantial dollars that could then go towards
remember last year
schools.
we paid for a study,
Yeah, right,
an
right.
impact study,
Study,
so
right.
that's what this is.
This
the
is
report on the
the
impact
delivery
study.
on the study.
Yeah, we shared it with the county.
Right,
So I'm putting it under goal 3, fiscal responsibility,
Mhm.
impact fees.
yeah.
That's what I'd say. So I agree with Will, that this is like a very long agenda.
Yeah. Well, I think that we're just gonna have to make sure that, the reports are written and we have them by Thursday so we can read them. That,
Like
can you
we-
get something from Pat Frieda and from Freddie Lawton ahead of time?
Yeah.
So we can read those. Certainly on the impact fees. That, you know, okay, so the priority school, say that these are 10 minutes.
It's 10, 10, 20, 10, that's already 30 minutes.
That's 30.
And you're sure it's on the MOU?
Mm-hmm. You mean
Because I
sure?
know one of the things is they're taking map testing and things like that right now. So,
It's just part of the board responsibility is reviewing it quarterly.
Yeah.
So what we've done each
so you have
time
to
is,
have it this quarter.
yeah, so that's
Yeah.
why so that at this meeting after they present,
Mhm.
we'll set the next date when they're
Yes.
gonna come back.
Yeah. And I mean, and they can, you know,
Let's provide one sheet maybe, and they can just give a few highlights. I mean, really, you
Yeah.
don't even have to take 10 minutes. We just have to sort of be kept in the loop, basically.
Yes.
and, you know, I don't think the Hilton Head Middle School Priority Committee, community committees met in a long time. So I know Whale Branch met
They've met a few
a
times.
few times. I
Was
was
that
at
how
one
we went?
and then I missed the last one because I was at something else.
Uh-huh.
But that, I don't think the Hilton Head one has met for a while.
Well, that's something that needs to
Yeah,
Yeah.
be addressed, yeah, so.
yeah, that's true.
Well, I guess we just have to, we just gonna have to go out and see how we do it. Need to, depending on time restraints, then we need to meet and just say, hey, we may need another meeting, this.
Or
this
another
month.
thing is something like the impact fees. Maybe they want to give us the initial presentation so we can start thinking about it.
Yeah,
And then come back
And then
in
come back,
February
right.
at
Exactly.
the workshop or something where you have more time.
right.
Right.
This
But
is
at
just,
least give us the initial information.
right.
Well, yeah, with that, but also, if that's the case, if all this building going on, you wanna go ahead and get that on the agenda now so we can start getting some of that money, realistically. I mean, that's.
Yeah, but right now, your Fort Mill that has up their
Okay.
impact fee. They're the only school district in the state, I believe, with impact fees. And they just up theirs tremendously to something like 18,000 for a single residence and maybe 15,000 for an apartment, and they're being sued. So I think it's in the courts as to whether these are gonna be even allowed in the state. But they've had theirs forever, I believe,
Yep.
like maybe,
Yep.
you know, well over 20 years or something, but what brought the lawsuit was the sudden increase in the dollar amount of what they charge. So, I don't know, you know, even if we approve it, I'm not sure, if we may spend years in litigation for it or something, who knows? You know?
Yeah.
Well, we don't have to make ours that high. Anything,
yeah.
anything's better than nothing.
I agree.
You know, anything's
agree.
better than nothing.
That's true.
Yeah,
Well, going back to priority reports,
yeah,
we can't realistically expect anything definitive about the results of the test.
Right.
On the map, I mean, it will give you more information.
Yeah, I mean, whatever progress they're making, so
Yeah.
most of the time, this will just be probably
Right.
a review of what they're doing,
Right.
still doing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So
It just,
they
again,
should-
yeah,
if they're aware of that, then too, made aware of the fact that we're not really looking for what you don't have.
Yeah. Well, I'll make sure to communicate that
Yeah.
and just say, give them a concise synopsis of what you're doing,
Right.
because that's what the State Department of Education has
laid out.
laid out for us. We have to have that on before us.
Do they specify when in the quarter?
Nope,
no,
Okay.
it says quarterly.
So the next one, when you know, you set the next one, might wanna be earlier, you know, the end of January or something like that, so that, or first meeting in February, or so that the data doesn't go stale, right? So that
Right.
you hear what they're doing with this new information as close to it as possible.
yeah, so maybe there was just like two questions we wanted to answer. What is the role of their community committee?
Mhm.
What has their community committee been doing? How have they been using them or helping them? Or, you know. And two, you know, how are they, you know, the strategies that they presented us last time that they were doing to differentiate? How are they, you know, are they still doing those strategies? Have there been a change? Are they still being, you know, and then, you know, we
Yeah,
don't
but
have
they
any
still,
data.
right, but I still don't wanna give them any corners to cut. I still want to make sure that we are holding them accountable accurately for the information that that they're giving us an acceptable presentation, and not just throwing us a bone saying, hey, give me anything with us. And I still wanna make sure that we're giving adequate data, because this is a serious issue.
Yeah,
So,
I mean,
you know-
the data points, they're not gonna
We're
have,
not gonna have the data.
right, because they're doing the testing now
Right, okay.
to,
Yeah.
To get those data points, right? I got you, right.
Yeah,
yeah. They just need to be, you know, thorough
Yeah.
and concise about what they're giving you, right?
yeah.
Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, I think that's about, any other discussion or comments or?
I saw, John said something about,
Fiscal
about,
responsibility.
he wanted something to add about the, 4 years or something like that, regarding FOIA requests,
Yeah, it was to waive the FOIA fees.
FOIA fees
for
for
Uh-huh.
the media.
medias, yeah.
Yeah, so,
So-
Maybe that's something that we can add on the agenda in,
The next
January.
time.
January. Yeah, but I mean, I just wanna, well, I know you have a list that you
Yeah.
yeah,
put those on and.
Well, that, you know what, and that'll be good, because what I'll do is I'll get our communications team to look at all the requests that we've gotten for FOIA requests from the island packet or any of the media outlets, and to be able to speak to what we've charged them over the course of all these requests that they get, that they ask us for things. Because I'm fairly confident that they are already getting that kind of service where they basically aren't getting assessed a fee unless it's a burden to the staff. Then they get a fee, which is the very same thing the county council, the Ashley Jacobs just suggested. If it's a burden, they're still gonna charge them.
yeah.
Otherwise, now they're gonna do a freebie for that. And I'm fairly confident that that's what we do already.
I mean,
But I think it will give us a chance to pull that data together
I mean,
and to share it with the board so everybody can see that that is what we've been doing.
That's no problem, it's not my request, it's.
No, I get you. I'm saying it's a good idea to put it in January because that gives me a chance to get that together for the board. I agree with you.
Okay.
I think it's good.
Okay.
And the other request we've had is the policy, second policy reading. But I think that will follow after tonight's
Tomorrow.
discussion. Yeah,
After-
tomorrow night's
yeah.
discussion as to when that should be, based on what we
Yeah.
decide tomorrow night.
And, okay.
So those are the two that,
You seen it,
It's 5:30 tomorrow.
6 o'clock
6
tomorrow
o'clock, there's no,
at county council.
yeah,
oh, is that kind of company?
Versus
Yes.
county council.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
all right.
He's bad as me, I went to, what's the name?
Future, the next date, the next board meeting is January 7th.
Okay.
Yeah, I went to Buckingham.
And
When
Yeah, I don't know why.
does the,
Sorry, when you come back.
Oh, academics.
That's the day after, right?
we come back January, well, 260 people are supposed to come back on January 2nd.
Third,
Yeah, that's 260 people. So,
yeah.
so that's not gonna give
So-
much time for,
when do you all want to meet to set the January 7th agenda? Now, if you all approve the calendar, you can change, right now it's suggested for the first meeting in January to be January 7th, but you all haven't approved that yet, so
yeah,
you all can,
to change that if we want.
you can have one meeting in January, or you can have,
Yeah.
Oh, so we'd have to meet in, December to set that,
or the,
agenda.
And that's a holiday, I mean,
and-
everybody's, that's during the Christmas break.
Yeah,
So normally the date to set the agenda for January 7th would be December 30th.
Right. So do
And
you all want
whereas-
to do it like December, the week of the 19th? Before the Christmas break?
I would suggest that if we do that,
Yeah.
you know, that will give staff a chance to prepare any documents during the course of that week, ahead of time, so that, when they come back, on December 2nd, on January 2nd,
That's the Thursday.
that's the
You're gonna-
Thursday.
you're
So
gonna
you're
want
not-
stuff,
So you're
exactly.
gonna need things, so if the date stays on the 7th, I would suggest we definitely have it early on that week of the 16th, so that Monday, so that staff can get their stuff together during that week.
Or change this.
What do you think, Will?
I have no, I'm not opposed to doing it at that time, that's what we have to do, get that done, and that's what we have to do, to get that meeting, and, that's, I don't oppose it,
Do you want to have, if looking at that, do you want to just have one meeting in January, a business meeting, or you want to have both
That would
days?
be my preference, just because
No.
we've got so much
Okay.
What
in
if
the
we,
queue. so
here's
to speak.
another, let me just throw out
Yeah.
another option
Yeah.
out there. If the first meeting was January 14th, so we'd have to move the meetings January and February different, but that would be it. So January 14th, and then
The 28th.
January 28th, and then February 11th, and February 25th, and we have a board work session at the end of that week. We've had that before, where we've had a board meeting and then a work session, but that's the only.
Now,
but I don't know if we wanna continue that practice though.
Yeah,
also know the school board conference, it is in February,
The one that's on Hilton Head.
the one on Hilton Head.
Well, plus I've made travel plans for the
Yes.
last week of
Okay.
January and the last week of February because of the schedule that we normally
Yeah, yeah.
have, so that's not good at all for me.
okay,
I mean, we can go on the 7th, but if we can just have.
So let's do it on the
Yeah,
16th
on the
or something.
16th,
Is that
then.
okay, Will? December
Yeah,
16th?
I'm over on the 16th.
Okay, let's do that.
I'm over on the 16th.
And,
that way, staff can get you,
Yeah.
start working on getting that together.
okay. And so
Where?
4:30,
4:30?
you wanna do it at the district office since we were here this time?
sure.
Okay, is that good?
That's fine.
Okay. I think, any other business before we adjourn? All right, meeting now, well, I need a motion
I
for
move
adjourn.
we adjourn.
I second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I need